to me as a person, because I never forget what you said, and August the 13th said, if you don't see it before you see it, you'll never see it. I'll never forget that. I never will, never will. I sure won't.
I was raised in a home with parents who smoked pot and sold pot and drank and fight, and you know, that was just a way of life, and it was okay, you know, and it was always in the closet. I've always called myself a closet addict because on the surface everything looked really good. You know, we would go to church and our family looked great, and the same way when I grew up and married and had children, everything looked great on the surface. You know, we were the perfect little family, went to church, had the nice home and jobs and things, but with inside, the things that people couldn't see behind closed doors, there was drug use, you know, and verbal abuse and emotional abuse, and not really physical, but things like that. And I grew up in that way of life, so I knew, you know, to me that was normal.
It's hard, Brother Harold. It's serious to go from being abused to come into a place to find out that people that actually really care, and there's programs that will actually help you, you know, through this process of being abused, you know, make you feel more like a person than just nothing. You know, sometimes your husbands will make you feel like you're not nothing, you're not worthy. But with the Rubies program and stuff, it makes you feel like you're worthy and that you can go somewhere in life.
When I came to prison, once I turned my life over to God, that God's what was going to fill that hole, and He was the only thing. He was why nothing in my life ever worked. Even when it seemed like I was on the right track, and you know, I'd make promises when things would go bad. Because I grew up in a, like I said, a home where we went to church, and I knew about God my whole life. But I didn't know about having a personal relationship with God. I knew about religion and not relationship.
Celebrate Life Day was my first ever experience being with HR Ministries at an event. And I was at the snow cone table, and I cried like a baby the entire time I was making snow cones, because to watch these mothers and these children come together and embrace one another after being apart for years just really pulled at your heartstrings. It was an absolutely wonderful day to watch these families unite and just to spend time just loving on each other. I've been on mission trips to Africa, the Philippines, Mexico, and I had never been more out of my comfort zone than when I entered this prison. I was scared to death, and I actually fought it for about a year. I felt like the Lord tugging at my heart saying, you need to volunteer at the women's prison, and I just kind of avoided it. And one day I called the HR Ministries office, and Miss Linda answered the phone. And I told her that I wanted to volunteer for the Celebrate Life Day, and she said, well, how about anything else? And I thought, oh, I didn't want to ask me that question. And so God has allowed me to conquer a great fear that I had by stepping out of my comfort zone, and it has been nothing but blessing to me. I mentor because I like the one-on-one connection with the ladies. I like to have those deeper conversations that you might not have as much of an opportunity to have at the big events or at the Bible study. I like to get one-on-one with them and really get to know them and hear what their concerns are and how I can pray for them.
Open our hearts and our minds today, dear Lord, and just fill it with your words, dear Lord, and open the minds of the ladies that's coming, dear Lord. Let them receive your word, dear Lord, in the way you would have them to. We thank you for all the blessings. We know everything good and right comes from you, dear Lord. Forgive us where we fail you. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Amen.
Well, you know, it's just like any ministry that you're involved in, and I'm talking kind of as a warden and as a Christian. You know, it's when you begin to get involved in those ministries. You know, initially it takes some sacrifice. You know, you debate. Okay, is this something that I want to devote a lot of time and energy into? Do I have enough time? Can I get off work to do this or do that? And commitments. As you make those sacrifices, what you find is that you become more blessed by doing it, and you think, why didn't I do this a long time ago? I mean, as a warden, I would say, we need those volunteers. We need those folks that come in, because we don't have the staff to do a lot of those things. So I would encourage anyone that's available to commit to doing these things. And I've seen members of my own church begin to participate in that when we converted over to females, and now they do a tremendous job of coming in and working with Rubies for Life and the mentoring program. And anytime you talk to them, we always try to thank them for coming in. It's always about, they're being blessed by being here, and the blessings that God's given them by having the opportunity to come in and minister to the population.
It's wonderful for your church. It has stretched the people in our congregation in great ways. A lot of them have conquered fears by coming. A lot of them have stepped out of their comfort zones. They may not be comfortable sharing the gospel, but they can come and work a popcorn machine in an event like this. And it has allowed people that have not been comfortable doing the outreach sort of thing to take a first step and to do something. And you can come as a group. That's the wonderful thing. You don't have to do it one-on-one. You can bring an entire church group with you. It's just a wonderful opportunity to get people thinking outside the box. And it's right here in our own backyard.
I don't know. Just picture yourself in a really dark room, all alone, starving. Maybe not physically starving, but starving for everything. Starving for life, love, family. And then picturing the door open to a celebration just for you. That's what H&R brings for us.
They are so low. They are so low. You can see that the women here are reaching out to others as they find Jesus Christ. I had 2 today that say that church services and Rubies had changed their lives.